I love it. I love it.
First weeks in Italy, first weeks in Milan.
Yeah.
How's it doing so far?
I love it. You know, the city's great. You know, the team, we got a great team, great organization. Just in the living here, you know, it's pretty smooth because, you know, they pretty much got everything you need. So I love being in Milan so far, and I'm looking forward to, you know, what the rest of this year has.
You're coming here with the status of a three-pointer specialist or a guy who likes to, you know, dig in three-pointers. Yeah. And you said, I read the interview you released to the club, you said that you grew in that aspect during your time in Houston. What makes, in your opinion, a good three-pointer shooter into a specialist?
I think, you know, there's a lot of people who are good three-point shooters, but I think, you know, becoming a specialist in it is just more a mentality. You know, you have to be able to, you know, try to be as consistent as possible, and sometimes it can be pretty difficult, you know, to just try to, especially if you're only shooting threes, because, you know, if you're missing your first couple, your confidence might get a little shooken, but you got to be able to have a short-term memory and just trust your work, trust your teammates to find you in the right positions, and, you know, trust the coaching staff to know that, you know, this is my strength and that they have that confidence in you too.
Especially in the NBA, in the past few years, there have been a lot of specialists, or at least three-point shooters that you can inspire your game on, you can model your game on. Who have been, if you have some names in mind, some guys that you will look up to and you say, okay, I want to be like this guy?
Yeah. I would probably say obviously the number one is Steph Curry, but some of the stuff he does is kind of unrealistic. So I try to look at Seth Curry. I think his is pretty realistic. Klay Thompson, the way he moves without the ball, and you know how quickly he can get his shots off. I'll probably try to, you know, mimic my games a lot after those guys. Even Patty Mills. Patty Mills is really good at, you know, getting to his shot, getting to his spots, and having a good base to get to his jumper whenever he can.
And let me touch briefly on your NBA experience. In 21-22, you shared the locker room, if I'm not mistaken, with Alperen Sengun. So, of course, he wasn't the same player as today, as we know him today. But looking back at your time together, what do you think his upside is? Because, you know, some people may say he's like the Turkish Jokic or...
Yeah. No, Alpe's really good. He has a really good feel for the game. You know, he's not the most athletic, but he knows how to use his body to get to where he needs to get. And he knows his strengths. He's a really, really good passer. He has good touch around the rim. I think as long as Alpe keep the right mindset and keep the right, you know, keep basketball first, I think he could be as good as he wants to be. You know, he's got the talent and the size to really dominate.
You are not the first Texan born and raised to come here to Milan and hopefully doing great things. One name that comes to everyone's mind, of course, is Keith Langford. And you already said that it was very important for you when moving here. Can you tell me a little bit more about your relationship, the call that you had with him once you said, okay, I'm about to sign with Milan?
Yeah, it just brought me like a sense of comfort, you know, to have someone that's been in the city, been in the organization. You know, your first time coming to Europe, you don't want it to be a bad experience. So he made sure that I was confident to know that this will be a good experience, that the club is really great about it, that the city's really good. And, you know, just to make that transition a little bit easier. Because if you find living off the court easy, he said that you'll find adjusting to the basketball easier too. So, you know, he really helped me in my decision making, and, you know, he still talk to him all the time, just, you know, keep in contact, give me any advice, answer any questions I have. So it's good to have a man like that in my corner.
And he moved a little bit earlier to Europe, but if I'm not mistaken, he debuted in the EuroLeague approximately similar to your age in Khimki in 2009.
Yeah.
And then he went on to having probably one of the greatest career for American guards in Europe, retiring at 39.
Yeah.
It's a difficult question to answer, but since it's your very first season in Europe, but if you have like an idea about your trajectory, what's your road to? Like, do you have something in mind already, or is it a little bit early?
I mean, obviously I have goals to, like, you know, be one of the better players over here. You know, I'll go through an adjustment period, and, you know, my game will have to adjust to this style of play. And, you know, but I have really high expectations for myself. I always have, and I always will. That's just who I am. And, you know, I want to come over here and fit in with my teammates, be a good teammate, and, you know, just come out here and compete, play hard, and, you know, whatever the trajectory is, you know, I'll let the rest of that take care of itself, you know.
And I saw an Instagram post from the club when you guys were presented to media, to the fans, the audience in Scalo. And I saw a comment by Curtis Jerrels, hyping you up. He said something like, "Let's go 12" or something like that. And of course, he's from Texas too. And he's a pretty great figure in Milan too for what he did here. Do you know him personally? Are you in contact with him?
Yeah, I met Curtis probably about 4 years ago, just through social media. And, we played pickup a couple of times together, just kind of ran into each other around the city. But, me and Curtis, we don't talk too often, but I know that, if I need some advice or I need some help, he's always there for me. And I could reach out to him and he'll get back to me. And, it's another good player that played over here, had a really good career here. So that I have in my corner that could, help me out if I ever need that.
And each year, when there's the anniversary of this shot, which was his shot against Siena in Game 6 of the finals, these guys go crazy in the fans as well. So did anybody tell you about that? That event?
No. Okay. I didn't know about that event, but I've seen the shot. Because he'll post it on Instagram sometimes. So I done seen the shot a couple of times. It was a big shot.
A big shot. And considering you had a lot of experience in the G League, I have to ask you about this because, as you probably saw from social media, I don't know if you saw it. There was the Intercontinental Cup a few days ago with the G League United team against Unicaja in the final. And Juan Toscano Anderson said G League, he believes that the G League is the second best league in the world. Of course, I know that it's your first experience overseas, but I want to ask you, how's the experience inside of the G League?
The G League is a really good league. I mean, it's for people who are really close to the NBA and believe that they're really close and that they have a good chance because you just develop within the NBA system. And I think if you're trying to reach the NBA, it's probably the easiest way to do it probably because you're in the NBA eyes all the time. The day-to-day life is pretty good. I mean, it's pretty normal. Go to practice, work out, get your extra work in. You'll get out what you put into it. If you have the right mindset with the G League, you could really perform well, and it's a good chance to get that call up. Sometimes people can kind of approach it with the wrong mindset, and I think when you go into the G League with the wrong mindset, it could really hurt you because it's pretty easy to just get lost in it and lost in all the stuff that goes on with two ways and different stuff of that nature. So
most of the time, you have at least 1 year you stay there. How do you live in the G League with the constant, I would say, insecurity of I will make it to the NBA, I will not make it to the NBA, maybe I make it there with a 10-day contract. How it is going through that?
It's kind of tough. I mean, the first half of the season isn't really that hard because I don't think call-ups can start till like January or so. So the first half isn't that bad, but the second half you can see other teammates getting call-ups and people, so you might think you're better than some people, so it's like and it starts messing with you mentally, and then it can knock you off your game. So I feel like the instability can be a little tough because some days you might have two ways, some games you might not, some days you might play 30 minutes, some days you might play 10. It just kind of depends. That's just kind of what the G League is, and again, that's just all with how you approach it and your mindset towards it. You'll just get out what you put into it.
And your arrival to Milan coincides with the departure of Kyle Hines, which is probably the greatest American ever to play in the EuroLeague.
For sure.
What do you know about his career, his legacy?
Man, I don't know Kyle personally. We talked a little bit, after I signed here, but I know he's a great dude, great character, great player. Won a lot of championships. He was on some really, really good teams. So I know that having him in here for the last 4 years was huge for the club because he instilled like a winning mentality, like a winning approach, and just how to carry yourself as a high-level professional player. So I have the utmost respect for Kyle, and I congratulate him on his amazing career, and I wish him the best of luck in his next chapter of life.
And in the roster now, you share the court with some Americans who have been shining in the EuroLeague so far. Shavon, for example. Zach LeDay is returning to Milan. Josh Nebo was probably one of the best centers in last year's EuroLeague. Did you talk with the guys about how to handle the first weeks, the first months in the EuroLeague? Because of course it's tough from a guy coming from another type of game with another spacing, with another rules. Did you manage to talk with the guys about this particularly?
Yeah, I talk to them every day about it because every day to me is learning something new. You know, they've been here. Shavon's been playing over here in this organization for the last 4 years. Zach's played in this organization before and at high-level clubs, and so is Josh. So, you know, it's good that I have those people that, you know, can give me advice, give me, give me some tips to stuff just to adjust faster. Because it is a different game, and it's a little different when you're coming from America, just to see how everything is and how they play a little bit different and how, you know, tactics are a little bit different. So having those guys be able to help me stay calm, not overreact, and just be able to give me, you know, little bits of advice here and there whenever I ask. And, you know, I think that they'll be a really great help for me this whole year and in the start of my Europe career for sure. There's a way to succeed everywhere. They all went through an adjustment, I'm sure. And the earlier you come over here, the easier it is for you to get instilled, I feel like. And those guys have made great careers for themselves. They got a lot of accolades and done some great things for the organizations they played for. So, you know, they're really good players that represent America over here. And, you know, I don't know if I'll be able to get to that level, but if I can, you know, it'd be a blessing. And I do follow those guys, and I make sure to keep track of what they got going on. And hopefully they can continue to have that success in this league and continue to push America even more over here.
And in the past few days / weeks, you managed to play with some EuroLeague organization already. Of course, it's preseason, it's friendly games, it's not the official games, but what are your impressions on the other teams? And also, do you have any names in mind about players that you faced that you were particularly impressed, or say, okay, I look forward to the challenge against this guy in the next few months?
Yeah, both the last two EuroLeague teams we played, they were both really good. I mean, I don't think any of us really showed our entire package to each other because we got to see each other. But you know, we're all got really good players. We competed hard, and I know that we'll have some good games in these upcoming months. And then just in terms of players, I know Wade Baldwin's one of the best players over here. He's really good. Devin Hall was a really good player. You know, he's a good defender, and so that's a challenge for me because he was guarding me. Just, you know, how to figure out ways to get myself open and, you know, how to help my team. And I'm excited, man. I'm just excited to get to play in these games, and hopefully we can stack up some wins.
You gave me the shortcut about the defensive specialist because, of course, you come here with the status, as I said, of an offensive specialist. But as you said in the interview released to the club, you need to improve some aspect on the defensive end. And Ettore Messina is one of the greatest coaches in European history, and especially when it comes to defense, to the approach on defense. Have you talked already with the coach about the defensive adjustment that you need to make, especially considering the spacing, how the spacing is here, how the pick and roll is played, how switching defense is played?
Yeah, I have. You know, we've watched film over things, and you know, I kind of know the adjustments I have to make, and I'm working on those every day at practice. And it just comes with repetition because the way that they guard pick and rolls over here is a little different than how we do it. You know, the amount of physicality you can have is a little bit different. So just me mentally instilling that into my mind to know that I can do this and get away with it, or I got to guard a pick and roll like this instead of like this, just so I can get the repetition so that I know what to expect when I get into games and I hear a pick and roll coverage. I have to know exactly how my body needs to move and what I'm expecting.
Last question, I will let you free. You've been a rookie in college, in high school, in college, in the G League, in the NBA. You're about to become a rookie overseas and especially in the EuroLeague. If you have a wish for this season, for you personally and for the team as well, for your teammates, you know, the family, everybody around you, what would that be?
Man, just to contribute. That's my biggest thing. Is like I just want to help my team win more games than they did last year, and however we can get that done. If it's, you know, I just want to help come out here and compete, and you know, be a big part of this organization. And I feel like I can do that, and you know, I got to keep getting better, keep gaining coach's trust, keep gaining my teammates' trust, and I think we could do some really big things this year with this team.